All right, good morning. It's great to see everyone. I'm going to start off with some good news to highlight some of our activities this week, discuss some ongoing concerns, and then, of course, take your questions. Good news. The city just received some well-deserved recognition for our transportation efforts. The Institute of Transportation Engineers has selected the City of San Diego as its Public Agency of the Year. The City of San Diego's Traffic Engineering Division was selected because of its dedication to repurposing the streets for all users. In particular, we have been recognized for the numerous improvements we have made in a short amount of time for cyclists and innovative and progressive measures we have taken to move forward with bicycling. We have restriped 50 bike lane miles as a part of our road resurfacing contracts, and as a result, in narrower car lanes, wider bike lanes, and buffers between the two. It's noteworthy because these common sense improvements come at no additional cost to the city. Also, the city's first road diet has been approved and should be installed by the end of December 2013 along 4th and 5th Avenue from Laurel Street to the I-5. Hundreds of Sharrows, which are those chevrons you see in the middle of the street with the bike below it, have been installed throughout the city with other bike routes to improve connectivity for our overall bike network. We are also installing traffic control devices at 3 locations where pedestrian and bike paths exit onto major streets to minimize vehicular delays and maximizing cyclist and pedestrian safety. And we have purchased bike detectors for 8 traffic signals so that the green signal time will be extended to allow the cyclist more time to travel through the intersection. Of course, these efforts complement the installation of 150 bike racks in the last year, our popular bike corral program, and the bike sharing program with Deco Bikes, which will start next spring. I want to give particular congratulations to Linda Morabian from our city team for spearheading many of these efforts. Linda is an amazing city asset, a great public servant, and she is also a cyclist. So our bike infrastructures are really in response to the desires of San Diegans. Similarly, we have heard the calls from the public around the implementation of open data, and we have some progress on that front as well. Yesterday, the Council's Rules Committee took action on the city's open data efforts and moved forward with creating an open data advisory group to provide public input and general initial implementation of an open data policy. The committee will also work to finalize an open data policy in conjunction with that group. Moving forward with a committee of IT professionals makes perfect sense so that we can build a comprehensive open data policy and to step up our efforts. I look forward to working with Council President Pro Tem Sherry Leitner, Councilmember Mark Kersey, and others who are involved in this effort at an open data workshop which will occur in mid-January. While worthwhile, there are costs associated with this which need to be considered along with our other IT infrastructure needs. These needs will be a part of our budget development process in the coming year. I'm a firm believer in transparency and know that we've made significant headway in the last 2 months. I hope that these efforts will complement that initiative. Also, on a different front, after 2 years of little progress in addressing a funding stream for affordable housing, the City Council took a huge step on Monday. The City Council approved an update to San Diego's workforce housing offset, which will ensure development that creates low-wage jobs also creates additional affordable housing options. I can imagine it's difficult to believe that someone with a job could end up homeless. Unfortunately, the threat is all too real for the 125,000 workers in the city who earn wages below the federal poverty line. Today's news also reporting that in the state of California, about 1 in 4 Californians are living at or below the poverty line. That's disturbing information. We've got to do something about it. By updating the workforce housing offset for the first time in 17 years, the City Council has approved an appropriate funding stream for San Diegans who have jobs but struggle to afford to live here. It requires that commercial developers who build in San Diego help cover the costs of providing affordable housing for low-wage workers through a one-time payment assessed as a small percentage of the overall development cost, and that is then deposited into the city's Affordable Housing Trust Fund. I appreciate and applaud the council members' support for this effort and look forward to seeing additional affordable housing being developed in our city. Additionally, I'm excited that the first draft of our updated climate action plan was unveiled yesterday at the Council's Natural Resources and Culture Committee. The plan is designed to help San Diego mitigate its impacts on the environment in the decades to come. I'm confident that this plan will help San Diego reduce its carbon footprint while also helping us maintain our quality of life. The plan calls for a variety of approaches in the years and decades to come, from tapping into sources of renewable energy to increasing the percentage of commuters who take bikes and mass transit to work. The plan sets specific targets and goals to be reached in 2020 and in 2035. I want to thank my Director of Environmental Policy, Nicole Capritz, for her hard work on this important issue. She gave the presentation yesterday at Council Committee. She did a great job, and I'm very proud of how she's helping us lead the city forward in a greener way. Related, headway toward an improved sustainability is already underway in Balboa Park. Yesterday, I joined the Balboa Park Cultural Partnership and its partners to announce the addition of that additional buildings in Balboa Park will become LEED certified in time for the 2015 celebration. We currently have 3. We expect to have 10 by 2015. These LEED certifications are the result of the park's environmental sustainability program, a collaborative effort between the City of San Diego Gas and Electric, the San Diego Green Building Council, and the Balboa Park Cultural Partnership. This program has resulted in annual savings of more than $1 million in energy use in Balboa Park. 2 more items, and then I'll be happy to take any questions. Firefighter death and disability. This week, there's been a lot of talk about death and disability benefits for city employees. Yesterday, I issued a memo to the City Council which clarifies the current status of benefits and our future plans for our employees. The city is committed to ensuring that our employees are covered should an emergency occur at the workplace. I'm taking aggressive steps to ensure that death and disability benefits offered to our workers meet our moral obligations for those who protect our citizens. I appreciate the collaboration that we have going with our city employees, our city attorney, and the city council to achieve the right result. I expect to give additional updates on that in the weeks to come. Finally, today, I want to let you know that I expect to release the 5-year financial outlook for the city on November 14th. 1 week to its prior 1 week prior to its review by the council's Budget and Finance Committee. It's still being finalized at this time, but I want to make sure that you and the public have that heads up. So with those comments, I'm happy to take any questions folks may have. Yes, sir.
With regard to the linkage fees, there's already been an announcement. A business group has already announced a plan to introduce a ballot initiative to overturn the city council vote. How do you what's your response to that, and what do you tell the voters of the city regarding the importance of the linkage fees?
Well, that announcement is disappointing, and I'd encourage the voters to oppose it. This is part of a pattern we're starting to see now, where special interests who have the money to force an election and are unhappy with the democratic process via elected leaders are triggering referendums. We've seen this with super centers. We've seen this with marijuana dispensaries. We're now seeing this with our shipbuilders, and we may now see this with commercial developers. This is unfortunate because the elected leaders of this city have sat and looked at this issue, particularly on the workforce housing offset, for many years now. And they talk about some other alternative solution, yet they don't provide one. This is what we have available to us. It is not a decision that was come to lightly, and it's the best option that we have available. I have said that if someone comes up with something better, I'd be happy to bring it forward, but no one has come forward with that. And I think that every San Diegan knows that we have an affordability crisis with our housing. We are the second least affordable housing market in the country, and we will continue to be that way unless we take aggressive steps to address it. The workforce housing offset is one of several approaches that we're taking, and I would hope that folks could see that we need to tackle this issue. This is one way to do it and allow it to stand. I recognize, though, that if you have a bit of cash and the wherewithal, you'll probably try and take this on. I hope that they wouldn't do that, because I think that's a waste of time. We should be focused on solving the affordability crisis, not making it more difficult for working families to live in our city. Other questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, the Aspen Institute named you one of America's most promising young politicians. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I appreciate being called young, and it's a tremendous honor. The Aspen Institute is a think tank, works in a bipartisan fashion, generally with leaders in Washington, but increasingly with local leaders. I'm grateful for the chance to hopefully hone my skills, get some more training that hopefully can be used to the benefit of our city. Certainly very honored to be in the company of some of the other scholars that are in this group, and certainly in the class of folks that have previously gone through this program Attorney General Kamala Harris, Congresswoman Gabby Giffords, Mayor Julian Castro. These are folks who are people I look up to in terms of public leadership. I'm really humbled to be in their class, and I'm hopeful that whatever I learned through this I can bring back to San Diego, put to the benefit of our neighborhoods.
What do you say to the opponents of the linkage fee who say, it's going to hurt business, it's going to, hurt people who want to expand here into new buildings, and really it's going against a lot of the other city initiatives that you guys are trying to push through?
Well, what I would say is that our affordable housing crisis is harming our economy. What I hear from a lot of businesses, a lot of job creators, is that they're hesitant to come to San Diego because they don't believe their workers can afford to live here, that they can't attract talent to come and relocate to our city because how can they afford to do that? I've heard that from some of our universities who obviously pay a pretty decent wage, but even their employees find it hard to relocate to San Diego. So I understand what they're alleging, but I stand by the fact that I think that our affordable housing crisis is problematic, and I think that I'm backed up by the Citizens Committee that we had on economic competitiveness just a few years ago under the leadership of my predecessor, Council President Tony Young, who, when spending a year on this issue of how do we make San Diego more competitive, two of the main things that they identified as being inhibitors to economic growth in our city was education and housing affordability. So I understand what's being said, but for the 45,000 families that are on our waiting list for affordable housing today, I suspect that they would disagree that the current approach is working. We have to do something different, and this is just that. And if I could just also point out, our municipal code says that we're supposed to look at this fee on an annual basis. Look at it. It can go up or it can go down, but we need to look at it. We have been out of compliance for 17 years on this issue. You all know that when I took over the duties as mayor, one of the things I said is that we're going to start following the law. And this is one of those situations where we have to follow the law. We have not been doing that for some time, and to argue that we shouldn't follow that, I don't think that holds water. So again, I understand what's being said, but I think that our affordable housing crisis is a substantial threat to our regional economy, and we got to do something about it. Anyone else?
We wanted to ask about the death and disability benefits for the firefighters.
Sure.
The memo you sent yesterday, should we take that to mean that the defined benefit is 50% final compensation for firefighters, just like it is in the SDSERS documents?
I would, I don't have the memo in front of me. I apologize. What I will say is this: this city is committed to taking care of any employee who is hurt or killed in the line of service to our citizens. I recognize that we're in the middle of a campaign and that it might be interesting to bring up this issue. This is an issue that we're working on, but I don't want any city employee to think that we are not going to back up them or their families should they be harmed in the line of duty. We have a series of benefits that are in place today. We are going through the process of implementing new benefits to be in line with the voter-approved Proposition B, and we are moving that as quickly as possible. On the list of things that were waiting for me when I walked in the door, this is one of them. We're currently in the RFP process. I expect that will be done shortly, and in which case we will go to the bargaining table and work with our unions to put this whole thing to rest. In the meantime, if something were to happen, I can guarantee you that this mayor and this council would take care of anyone who's impacted. But I don't want mayoral politics to get to scare any of my employees. We will take care of anyone who is harmed in the line of duty.
When did the city start the RFP process? And did you have since you started, has firefighter union reached out to you to meet and confer, or has the city reached out to the firefighter union to meet and confer to get these different benefits penciled out?
So our process right now is we're doing an RFP for insurance providers. When that is completed, we will take that information, meet and confer with our unions, and then we'll come to a conclusion. This, by the way, was contemplated in the 5-year labor agreement that our unions, the city council, and the prior mayor all agreed to earlier this year, that we had a reopener placed in that contract for this very issue to allow us to do our due diligence on procurement of insurance and all the other sort of administrative steps that we have to do. We are following through on that process. And in the meantime, a number of benefits are in place. And again, the city will stand by any employee that is harmed in the line of duty.
Can you tell me when the city started the RFP process?
I don't have the specific date, but I can get that for you. And again, I expect it to be complete fairly soon. Anyone else? All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time this morning.